After we learned about Python data types in the previous episode, let's continue to the next part about variables, if-else condition, math operators, and comparison operators. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe Salman Techno channel to get more videos about programming, tutorial, and technology tips only on Salman Techno. And don't forget to like and share this video. Let's start this video. Let's start into variables. So yeah, you're curious about variables. Let me show you. If I have x as the main variable, x, learn programming with Salman Techno. So how about if I write this one, print x, so it will be learn programming with Salman Techno, right? How if I separate both three elements, like x is learn, y is programming, z stands for with Salman Techno? Yeah, sure, you can do that. Why? Let me enter it down so that it will be visible. Y is programming. And the last one, Z, stands for with Salman Techno. And you can elaborate both variables by using this comma mark, x, comma, y, comma, z, and then we save our program. Okay, let me ignore this one. And let's focus on this code, everybody. Yeah, so it will be like this one, learn programming with Salman Techno. But if I use this one, it seems that I have to separate like this one. But let me try if I don't make a space in here. So the problem is that both sentences will not separate as well, unless this one. Learn programming with Salman Techno, so both of them are connected with each other. Okay, let me separate this one, and then we click save. Let me copy it to make it faster. Yeah, this one. So learn programming with Salman Techno by using this x plus y plus z, and then we separate this one. Learn programming with Salman Techno, so the result will be like in the first code. In variables, we can define a math operators like this one. I have, okay, let me close this one. I have num1 and num2. Num1, for instance, 5. Num2 is 7. And then print num1 plus num2. 5 plus 7 is 12, so let me prove whether it is correct or not. Yeah, exactly, 5 plus 7, so the output is 12. But how if the num1 is 5 as an integer, however the num2 is a string? Let me show you. Perhaps that there will be an error in the output. Like what I said before, yeah, exactly. Unsupported operand type for plus between int, integer, and string. So don't do that. Instead, if you want to make a calculator using Python, make sure that both data types are integers, like this one. Python, what is it called? Free Python -practice.py. Yeah, it is 12. But not only plus as the math operator. There are various math operators in Python like minus, times, divided by, modulo, and others. Let me show you. For the first one is sum, which will be num1 plus num2, and then the next one is minus num1 num2 instead, because num2 is the biggest number, the greatest number than num1. Num2 minus num1. I think it will be better if I show you like this one. Print num1 plus num2, and then print num2 minus num1, and then the next one print the multiplication, num2 num1 times num2, and then print num1 divided by instead I'm going to use this one here. Print num2 divided by num1, but let me show you this one first. And then print num1. We can use this one to gain the integer data type. So this one is for float. However, this one is for not a string, I mean an integer data type. And then the next one is for modulo, which is a percent sign, num2. And then if you want to consider which one is the greatest and which one is the least number, you can write this one. This one is for the least number, which is print min num1 num2, and then the next one print max num1 and num2. All right, so let's start to prove it. Python 3 python-practice.py. Yeah, so as we see in the output, 12 is the sum of 5 and 7. 5 plus 7 is 12. Num2 minus num1, 7 minus 5 is 2. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 divided by 7 is 0.714285, and so on. Num1 divided by 7, if we want to convert from float into the integer data type, will be 0. Num1, the modulo of num2, 5 modulo 7 is 5, and the minimum between 5 and 7 is 5, and the maximum is 7. And you can also use this one if you want to make such a calculation to to make this division number into more than 0 and this one into more than or equal to 0. I mean the positive number. Okay, let me show you about how to do it. Positive calculator. It is an integrated project, everybody. So this one is a positive calculator. And let me make it as, for instance, input. So you can input the numbers in input. All right, so if you want to consider about positive calculator, if num1 is greater than num2, or we can say this one, num1 is more than or equal to num2, positive calculator, positive and 0 calculator, this one. Okay, if num1 is is more than or equal to num2, so print num1 minus num2, else, which is print num2 subtracted by num1. Let me show you for the elif one. Elif num1. Oh, it's already integrated, guys. Else print num2 minus num1. And then this one is for the what we call as division, everybody. So let's start doing it. Or let me copy it one by one. Num1 is in here. And also for num1. And then I'm gonna copy those codes for this one. And then I'm gonna switch both variables, num2 and num1. All right, that's done. And let's start by clicking this save button. And then let's get into it. So what happened in here? Oh, we have to write the numbers first. If the number 1 is less than number 2, for instance, I have 5 and this one is 10. So this is what will be happen. 5 plus 10 is 15. 10 minus 5 is 5. 10 divided by 5 with the only division, this slash sign will be 2.0, which is a float data type. And the division with 2 slash signs will be 2 as an integer, right? Num2 times num1 will be 50. Num1 modulo num2 will be 5. And then the next one, the maximum and the minimum one is 5 and the maximum one is 10. And how about if I want to integrate with print num2 modulo num1? Yeah, exactly. And then the result will be 0, right? Because 10 divided by 5. Oh my bad. I have to 5 and 10. Yeah. 10 divided by 5 is exactly 2. And no reminder. No remainder, right? So it's only 0. Python 3, python-practice.py again. If the condition is that num1 is more than num2. Let me show you. 10 and this one is 3. Yeah, exactly. So this one is 10 plus 3, 13. This one is 7 because we have made it into positive 7, 3.33335 for this one. Print num1 divided this one. Yeah. Num1 divided by num2, and then num1 divided 2 times with num2 will be this one, and then there will be 30 for 10 times 3. 1 is the modulo between 10 and 3. So after we divided 10 divided by 3, which is 3, so there is 1 as the remainder. And then 3 in here as 3 modulo 3 modulo 10. And last but not least, the minimum between 3 and 10 is 3 and the maximum is 10. And how about exponents? Let me show you about the exponents. Okay, so first of all, if you want to make an exponent calculation using Python, you can use this one, num1, and then you type this symbol 2 times, become this one, and then define the variable. So it will be 2, and then this one is 4. So it means 2 to the power of 4, which is 16, right? And how about if I want to make a calculation like this one? 2 to the power of 3, which is 8. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into the so this one is the integration between input, mathematical operators, and if-else condition. And let's get into the global function. So let's get back into the variable, global variable I mean. For instance, if I have x, which is fun, and let me define a function, that my function, I don't need this one. Instead, I use this colon symbol. That my function, and this one will be global x, not max, I mean x, like this one, and then x stands for easy, for instance. And then I have this one, print learn, like this one, Python, learning Python is, and then there will be a variable like this one, which is x. And don't forget to define a variable first, not a variable, I mean a function. My function, let's stop this first. Then let's get into the terminal. Python 3, python-practice.py. Yeah, learning Python is easy because after we use global x either inside or outside the function, so the x recognized variable will be directed into this one, x easy. So how if I want to delete this one? So this will be our new input, so that the x used in here is only fun. Let me show you if I want to integrate with learning Python is easy and learning Python is fun. Let me show you how to do it, everybody. So it will be print learning Python is, and then you integrate with a variable inside a function, and then you define this one, the my function, to call this function, right? Python 3 python-practice.py. Yeah, so there are two sentences like learning Python is easy and learning Python is fun. Let me show you the last one, which is the if-else condition usage for Boolean operators like true or false. Let me show you if I have a variable is log in true, and then if is log in colon, and then print welcome back. So what will be our new input is this one, welcome back, because we have written is logged in true. Last but not least, especially for the if-else condition, there are logical operators that I want to show you, like if A equals to B, and then A doesn't equal to B, A less than B, like in the previous one, A is more than B, A is less than or equal to B, and last one is A is equal, is more than or equal to B. For instance, if I make this one, number one is 5 and number 2 is also 5, like in the first variable. And then if number 1 equals to number 2, so it will be this one. Both numbers are the same. And then else print you wrote different numbers. All right, let's save this program and let me Yeah, it will be like this one. If I write 5 and 5, both numbers are the same. But in any case, if I write this one, 6 and 5, like this one, it will be direct into this one. Print, you wrote different numbers. Yeah, you wrote different numbers like this one, 6 and 5. Alright, so this is our session about programming by using Python within its integration to make a calculator like this one by integrating math operators, logical operators, and if-else conditions. Alongside with the data types, Python can be used to create a calculator because it contains math operators and variables to input numbers like integer and float. Furthermore, if-else condition is used when you are willing to make a condition between two cases. Last but not least, comparison operators, which are used to compare two variables or values. So that is the end of the video about variables, if-else condition, math operators, and comparison operators. And see you on the next video.